Have you ever attended a meeting that should have been an email, but somehow became a 2-hour performance involving slides, acronyms, and 3 people saying, "Great point," without adding anything? Good? Then you have already met the pufferfish. You know the fish, small, vulnerable, easy target. But when threatened, it swallows water, expands, and suddenly looks bigger, more dangerous, more important. Many organizations do exactly the same thing, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. I call this the pufferfish effect. Here is the basic rule. When a healthy organization grows, it usually becomes more efficient. When an insecure organization grows, it becomes more ceremonial. That difference matters. A healthy company asks, what is the simplest way to solve this? A pufferfish organization asks, how can we make this look serious? Those are very different questions. Imagine a team notices a minor problem in customer communication. In a healthy system, someone fixes the message. Done. In a pufferfish system, something else happens. A task force is created. Workshops are scheduled. A steering committee reviews options. Someone builds a 40-slide deck. A communication framework gets approved. 2 months later, the original problem still exists. But now there is a process. And processes can be admired. This is where people get confused. Pufferfish organizations rarely look weak. They often look extremely professional. Dashboards, governance models, risk maps, beautiful PowerPoint slides. Everything looks controlled. That is the trick. Inflation creates visual authority, and humans are easy to fool. We often confuse complexity with competence. If something sounds complicated, we assume it must be important. But complexity is not always intelligence. Sometimes complexity is camouflage. Sometimes jargon is armor. Sometimes bureaucracy is fear wearing a tie. That last part matters. Most organizational inflation is not created by evil people. It is created by anxious people, managers afraid of mistakes, experts afraid of becoming irrelevant, leaders afraid of uncertainty, and fear creates rituals. Take approval chains. Sometimes approvals exist for good reasons, but sometimes they are emotional insurance. If 5 people approve a bad decision, no single person feels fully responsible. Responsibility gets diluted. Accountability quietly disappears. Everybody feels safer. Nobody becomes braver. This is how pufferfish systems grow, not through strategy, through accumulated self-protection. And here is the dangerous part. Inflation becomes culture. After a while, nobody remembers why the rituals started. People simply inherit them. New employees arrive and ask, why do we need 6 people to approve this? Nobody gives a clear answer. They just hear, this is how we do things here. That sentence has killed more intelligence than bad leadership ever could. Because once ritual becomes identity, questioning it feels like rebellion. Then something strange happens. The smartest employees begin to adapt. They stop asking simple questions. They learn the language. They learn the rituals. Soon they also build unnecessary slides and schedule alignment meetings, not because they believe in them, because the system rewards conformity. This is the final stage of organizational inflation. People no longer defend the system because it works. They defend it because they live inside it. I have seen this in corporations, universities, government agencies, consulting firms, even non-profits. No sector is immune. Give humans enough insecurity and they will build ceremony. So how do you know whether your organization is becoming a pufferfish? Ask 3 questions. Are we solving problems or managing impressions? Does complexity reduce risk or merely distribute blame? If we removed half our rituals tomorrow, what would actually break? That last question scares people because sometimes the answer is very little. And here is the final twist. The biggest pufferfish is not always the loud executive. Sometimes it is the quiet expert. Sometimes it is you. Because organisational inflation is not only about meetings or bureaucracy, it also lives inside people, in our titles, our language, our need to appear essential. That is why pufferfish systems are hard to change. You are not just fighting a process, you are fighting fear. And fear hates simplicity. So here is my advice. The next time someone proposes a new process, a new committee, or another approval layer, ask one rude question. What problem disappears if we do this? Not what improves. What actually disappears? If nobody can answer clearly, be careful. You may not be building strength. You may just be adding water. So next time you sit in a meeting that somehow needs 12 people, 4 approvals, and a slide deck nobody will read, pause for a second, look around. You may not be watching strategy. You may be watching a pufferfish fill with water,